Thank you, Kat, also for the introduction, how Impact Wizard came to life, because we have been working on it with a whole bunch of people, umbrella organizations, social entrepreneurs, testing things. But of course, where did it came from? It always came from the idea that social entrepreneurs, they believe they have impact, and we believe they have impact. But it was very hard to show that impact. So how can we make it visible? That was the really difficult question. So why should you use Impact Wizard? So not only show what you do, but show the results of what you do to develop better, more effective activities. And of course, as I told you, convince other partners, new partners, and for investors. And last but not least, it really helps to focus your team on impact if you do this exercise together. So actually, Impact Wizard is your critical friend. Let's have a small overview. This module helps you to straighten out things that you already have. You, I suppose, so have some ideas of what are your impact goals. Things like that, just list them up and give some clarity. Also, see what are you doing, what activities are you doing to realize those goals. And then it's the difficulty to find a focus for your impact evaluation. What will you focus on? This model helps you to focus on it. Okay. The next module, how to build your theory of change. How to make a logic from your problem analysis. What are the needs with your target groups? What are you doing to fulfill those needs? And what are the outcomes that you want to realize? How can you make my measurement plan? What are impact indicators? What are measurement methods? Things like that. And how can I execute it? We've created a separate model. Show it, and then with everything that you have learned, how can you maximize your impact? So really make the evaluation circle around. So, what is the example that I took? The example is a project, or an existing project here in Flanders. It's called Zorgnetwerken, and in English, let's call it a network of informal care. It's a project that started on the countryside with elderly people living quite isolated, and services going out of the countryside. No more banks, no more community houses, etc. We understand the mission. What they want to do is, of course, help and fulfill the needs of those people. And how do they do it? They match them with volunteers, and they are informal carers. Now I want to do some reflection. As you see, we always have a short introduction of every module with the goal of the module, and also the different steps that will come in that module. I can define my problem, make a short description of the problems of my target group. We know they live isolated, and actually what happens is that the social offer and the community houses, the services, go out of the countryside, but there might be still some offer existing, but they don't know where it is, they cannot find it. I will not go deeply into this, but here it's a good one to make already a reflection to involve your stakeholders. Who should I involve when evaluating my intervention or when developing? So I can reflect on that here and add new stakeholders. Here's our intervention. What are we going to do? I put in the name, and I can make different parts of the intervention. So what are we going to do? Yeah, we need to find those people because they live isolated. So we need to outreach to them. That's action number 1. And I can also see what outputs am I creating with it? What is the reach? How many people will we find? Next part of our intervention, next action is that we will match volunteers to help them go out with them. And also here we can list an output if we like to. Also, what is the change that we really expect to see or that we want to see within our target group? And we can add as much as we like on a short term, on a medium term, and on the longer term. So what happens is if I click here, I will get a shortcut to one of the databases, namely the outcomes databases. So because we don't like databases, we present them to you as a user in a more hands-on way, exactly on the moment when you need them, right? So now I can go search, and what I really want to do for those people, what I want to change in their lives, is that they have a more broadened network, right? So let's have a look if I can find something with the keyword network. And a positive social network. Okay, let's try this. I click on it. So my vulnerable person is socially connected. Okay, so at the end of every module, we get a result, because we have been doing a good job, and actually here is listed everything, and I can make a print of it and even print it to PDF. I can send it to a partner, see how they feel about it. Am I missing something? This is the next module. Now I want to know how I can measure if these people are really socially connected. And I have a bunch of questions, and perhaps you're going to say, oh my God, no, this is way too much. But they're very brief and short, so really little bits. What is the goal? What will I measure? How will I measure it? With what indicator? And I just want to show you this one. I will select a measurement methods. And there is one to measure if we can show if they are lonely and if there's an evolution in their loneliness. This might be interesting. So what happens here is that we have discovered a bunch of interesting measurement methods, that we have put them together in Impact Wizard, and that we refer to the original source when is needed. We have more methods, a bunch of methods, and they're all here in this database. And what is my result is my measurement plan. So again, I ask for feedback to my colleagues. Do you think this is the right way to measure? I have selected the measurement methods, confirm it, and okay, I will have a short welcome to my people and have a little introduction. For example, if I have a volunteer doing this interview, he needs to know how to make a connection and what to say, what not to say. What are we going to do with all those answers? Is this anonymous? Things like that. So what does this look like? I want to know what this looks like. It looks like this, right? So this is just a preview. Okay, a little welcome text. I can put in here a number. I can answer my scale. And if I want to add others, I just go back to the editor and add other questions. Last one. Okay, how can I now monitor my impact? How can I implement this in my daily business as a social enterprise? Do you recognize this? This was my action, and this was the number of vulnerable people that we identify. And actually, let's say that we have measured in September that in our city we have reached 50 of those people. And actually what we want, our target, is that by the end of June, we want to meet hundreds, 100. Let's say today, are we in the right direction? Yeah? Okay, let's say we have 65. Hoppa. All right, so this is really a management tool. You can just update this daily, weekly, every quarter, as you like. We can also do this put on those targets on the outcomes. So there is the interesting part, all right? For example, the number of problems solved. Well, we want it to grow. And we will make our volunteers to make it grow, okay? And here we can visualize it. And then this comes into your report. So this is what a custom label or a white label could look like. You put in your own logo. We can change the colors for you. We can even change the URL if you want to. And as I told you, we could create, if this is applicable to you, these accesses, different accesses, or special indicators, etc., etc. The group subscriptions, we call them our Impact Wizard partners. Here are some of them. How does it work? We start with a package, and we have learned that it's best for the first time to have some workshops. It might be trainer-trainer inside your organization. It might be workshops with your members. And if you do not have a partner that can give you a subscription, you can just get your own subscription on your own. We have serious discounts for SMEs. But you can just all go online in a few seconds and register and have a free trial. It's free for everybody for 2 weeks.